The thing is, usually the second unit team is specifically someone's actors. You know, you're using stunt doubles, things like that. But we literally had actors running back and forth between first and second unit. Second unit was primarily just on sound. There was no sound in second unit, so it was all just visual work. So yeah, it worked out really well. I mean, you know, once again, you're on set and you need to make things work. So you know, you improvise. You go, okay, well, I'm going to be over here doing this. I'll be back, so on and so forth. And you know, we switched up a lot and did a lot of different things. You know?
What exactly did we use for the body parts?
For the body parts, I actually went to a local butcher, and I went through their meat. And I mean, what's great about, we shot this in a small town. When you shoot these in small towns, are you guys in a small town right now?
Not like a small town. No, not at all.
Nobody's realized that they're just excited to have a movie in their neighborhood, basically. It's not like you're in Los Angeles or any other big town where, you know, a film crew comes in and they're like, oh God, film crew. You know, and so I was able to go to the local butchers and stuff and actually pull real animal parts that have been discarded for some of it. Then we had a lot of fake prosthetic stuff that we had brought up from Los Angeles that we integrated in there. And then a lot of it was basically those two things, you know. And then we just poured a lot of fake blood on stuff to kind of match them up and make them feel real. But I felt like having some of the real grizzle in there you know, a lot of it was like discarded deer parts, cow parts, obviously, you know, things like that. And it actually got to be a little sickening because some of it, you know, it was sitting around so long that some of it turned on us.
Yeah.
Which became a health hazard and so on and so forth. But you know, once again, things you don't think about until you're actually in the middle of stuff.
The difficult part of the screenplay for you to write? Is it dialogue? Is it certain scenes? Is it, what do you find the toughest for you personally?
Believe it or not, because I'm so into the effects of it and the action of it and stuff, I find it difficult to remember. I got to keep in mind that a movie doesn't work unless it has some sort of emotional value to it. You can blow up as much stuff as you want. You can cut up as many people as you want. You can have, you know, but without emotional value to it, you know, unless there's something for the character, there's some sort of stakes for the characters, then it doesn't mean anything. It's just Hollywood, you know, it's just explosion. It doesn't mean anything. A lot of times I have difficulty weaving in the emotional content of stuff. That's really my thing. You know, I can come up with snappy dialogue and, you know, so on and so forth. And a lot of times what I'll do is I'll write through, as I said, I'll write through a script and I'll almost leave the emotional content out of it. And by the time I'm done with the script, I figure out ways to incorporate it into a physical manner. Because, you know, film is a visual medium, so you need to incorporate it physically as opposed to having talking heads throughout the film. Does that kind of answer?
That was good. It worked.
Is that good? All right.
Yeah, I liked it.
Yeah.
Yes, I liked it very much. Anybody else?
I mean, when you're writing an independent script and writing, I mean, I'm writing an independent script for someone right now. I was actually really excited going into it because they told me it was about motorcycle riding. And I was like, wow, that's great. It has all this great action-y stuff that you can put into it. And the guy actually really wants a character piece. So he wants a character piece kind of set in the world of motorcycles as opposed to a racing movie or a stunt movie as per se. And a lot of it is really taking a step back and looking at those items and trying to make them have emotional value to them. And at the same time incorporate, you know, what's going on with the actual racing and that sort of stuff. So it's a fine line to walk.
Do you then, Dan, something?
I was just wondering, you mentioned the treatment, and then like the 3x5 note cards, like the outline is kind of, it's just general scene descriptions. I was just wondering in comparison how detailed the treatment is. How does the treatment read kind of compared to the note card? And like which comes first? Is it the treatment? It's kind of a loaded thing.
Just a little more about the treatment, between the treatment and the 3x5 cards. How detailed is your treatment? How does that process work from the treatment to the 3x5 cards? Is that the question?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then how do you go?
Mike?
Yes, go ahead.
Did I lose you? Okay. You hear me now? You hear me now?
Yeah.
Cool. It depends on what kind of script you're writing. You know, comedy sequences, a comedy script is so much different than an action script or horror script. And obviously a drama is, you know, a different beast altogether too. What I do is, there's certain things you're strong at and certain things you're weak at. For example, I'm not good at the emotional value stuff, as we just talked about. What I am good at is, you know, we're gonna blow up something cool here, and then this guy's gonna chase him down with a gun, sort of thing. So I'll write a little note on that, and then the emotional value stuff I'll get really hardcore on, because I know that's my weakness. So I kind of write more towards my weakness than I do my strengths, because I know my strength. You know, I know that that's going to be the easy part for me. Once again. So when I go to the 3x5 cards, it really, when I start off with the treatment is really kind of a beat of the movie in terms of its action. And that goes for comedy, drama, it's the beats and the twists and turns of where the movie's going. And how we're going to move these characters along. When I go to the 3x5 cards, then it becomes what's the emotional value of each scene. What does each scene mean to the characters, and how is it going to play out towards the end of the movie? What am I setting up here so I can pay off here? You know, so it's when the 3x5 cards aren't necessarily. Some of them are really, you know, they're a full paragraph, like the whole card is filled up. Sometimes it's the card blows up here, you know, and I keep it, and once again, I play to my weaknesses. So what you got to figure out is what's your weakest at. Because a lot of people play to their strengths, and they don't realize, you know, they're like, well, I'm good at writing female characters, so they write 3 tons of the female character. But you know what? That's the part you're already good at. That's already going to come when you're sitting down to type out the script. When you're actually putting it into a script form, that's the part that's going to come easy to you. The part that's not going to come easy to you, and you're probably going to get stuck on, is the part you're not good at. So that's what I try to write into when I do the 3x5 cards. And then a lot of times what I'll do is, even after the 3x5 cards, I'll go to what's called a script mint, where I will beat the entire movie out. Slug lines, characters, intention of the scene, action of the scene. I'll leave out pretty much everything except for really instrumental dialogue. I mean, I'll do so that it becomes, and it ends up being like 40 pages or so, and it allows me to have places to go when I get, you know, stuck writing certain stuff, but it also allows me to see the entire movie in its entirety in a script form. It also gets you further along the way, so you don't feel like, God, I still have 8 pages to write. You know, you already feel like the movie's starting to come together. And you can really pick apart, you know, scenes here and there.